Well, hello, everybody, and good evening, and welcome to Tuesdays with Elvis. It is 8 o'clock Central European Time in the evening here. Germany has just fallen out of the European Championship with a 2-0 loss to England. So congratulations, England, to that one. And why I mention that is the hugest thing going on over here right now. And I really like the European Championships and the World Championships. They happen 2 years apart. Each one happens 4 years apart, and that is the only time in my life that I am any type of a soccer fan. But don't ask me to explain soccer to you completely. But I want to start off. Let's start off with something good. Let's start off with something fun here this evening. And I just like the all of our European listeners to be very forgiving right now as I try to explain foosball to them, right? Or soccer. And so anyway, here we go. But I just want to share something really kind of fun that happened last night. Last night we had France playing Switzerland. Now, not only is France the world champion, they were also the European champion last time. And of course, they were one of the top favorites to to repeat this year. And they were playing Switzerland, who nobody knows how they got into the final round of 16 teams. They were number three in their little group there. The top two go. They were number three, and somehow they got to come in and they played. And boy, did they play! But one thing that we heard this whole time, and why I even bring this up tonight. Number one, it was a really great game. I mean, so often these countries, they play for like a 1-0 game and you just basically fall asleep and ignore it, right? But what we want to do here is over and over and before the game, the entire day, we kept hearing this. Now I'll translate this for you. Excuse me here. I'll do this here too. It says, can Switzerland break the octafinal, right? Not the quarterfinals, but before the quarterfinals. Can they break the octafinal curse? Okay, can they break the curse? And the thing is that it was 67 years, okay, until the last time Switzerland made the quarterfinals was, I believe, in 1954. It was 67 years ago. There were many games that Switzerland had played, of course, lost. And so they knew they were under a curse, and they go, well, we're always under a curse. And it says, well, can Switzerland break this curse? And I got so tired of all the people of curse, right? And I looked at this, and I looked at Swiss Miss, and we looked at this, and we're like, well, we know who can break curses. And so what we did is we broke this curse over the Swiss team. We broke off all psychic power, psychic prayer, any witchcraft. Can you imagine? I mean, with people being as superstitious as they are, and I'm like, why can't you just let the two teams play, and whoever it is, let the best team or the luckiest team win? So anyway, we broke this curse, and what happened with about 15 minutes left to go in the game, it was 3-1 for France. And everybody knows that once you get 2 goals behind, just ask Germany, once you get 2 goals behind in a competition like that, the game is pretty much over. Well, what happened is I thought that too. I kind of went away a little bit, and then all of a sudden I heard somebody downstairs screaming at their toothbrush as they were brushing their teeth before going to bed. And to make a long story short, they scored a bunch of goals, but 2 of them counted. And at the end of the game, it was 3-3. And then there was 2 overtime periods, right? There were 2 overtime periods of 15 minutes each, and it was still 3-3. And then they had this thing called the elf meter, or the 11-meter shooting, 33. They placed the ball 33 feet out from the goal, and 5 guys from each team get a chance to kick the ball. Well, they did this, and they were tied, and it came down to the very last kick of the game. And I want to talk a little bit here. It came down to the very last kick of the game, and if you're looking at this, and if it seems like the goalie is a little bit small, because he is. Oh wow, look at this here too. Here we go. Let me go back a little bit here. And they were talking too. This wasn't his strength defending of this. He had just let 4 other kickers score on him. And this is the last kicker from France. And so I don't know what happens if he makes it here. But I just want to show you guys something here. This was really huge. You know, and this guy here, this small little guy, and they were talking bad about him. You know, it's one thing. They always want to talk bad about people. They were talking bad about England tonight. Well, England ended up winning. But I want to show you this. I cannot play any sound. I won't play any sound here. I wish I could. Maybe I should. They'll zap the video, but maybe. You know what? Should we chance it? Should we chance it? Because it's good to hear. I'm going to chance this. So here we go. But here we go. So here's what happened. Now they're looking around to make sure that it counted. Did it count? Yes, it counts. It's good. They're looking around. And they found out the guy had blocked it here. Now he's running away fast with everybody chasing him because everybody says you're buying beer tonight. So he's trying to run away from these people. But look at that there. Look at the Swiss fans. There were 700 Swiss fans that made it all the way to Budapest. They were playing this in Budapest, people. And so what happened was, we'll stop that there. But there was like 600 or 700 Swiss people. They start flooding down. They've got all the security people here. But the one thing to notice in a lot of these games, except in Germany, in a lot of these games, notice there's no social distancing, and you don't see people wearing masks here, do you? Okay. So what had to happen is, of course, the German authorities, they were flipping out that, you know, all these health authorities for the European Union and all these, oh no, they should have fewer people, and the German authorities, they were they had the gumption to tell the British people, tell the British soccer people or whatever, you know, you should really limit the number of people at the game because of COVID, and you know, the Delta variant is there, and it was just like, oh, God, no, don't do that, okay? You know, overstep your boundary. I mean, come on. Great Britain is not even part of the European Union anymore, and it's like, come on, you take care of your own country, which they did. So anyway, so it was a really great time for Switzerland. Switzerland, the really underdog, knocked out the people that were supposed to win this whole thing. So it's kind of interesting, and it was good. Speaking of criticism and everything, the Swiss team went. They were criticizing the Swiss team for everything. One guy dyed his hair blonde, and they criticized him for that. But anyway, I find it really funny too, because the English players just went under a bunch of criticism too, and they just won. So praise the Lord. It looks like everybody's in here right now. Welcome in. And so it's really good. But now one thing here is too, is now this, they don't like this. Okay, who's they? Okay, who's they? You know, you have the globalists, right? You got all the people, you know, you got all the people making money off the coronavirus and the Delta thing and everything. They don't like this, and the globalists don't like this. The real people behind the European Union do not like this. Why? Because people are showing pride in their country, okay? And they were even telling people, they were trying to do this in Germany here too, or different places. They were telling people not to cheer too loud. They were telling people not to cheer too loud, and they probably shouldn't sing their national anthem. Well, you can forget that. You can forget that, right? Because people were, yeah, hello, people were, where are we at here? You know, people were singing, yeah, and people were doing this. Yep, the super spreader event, right? Okay, so anyway, but the thing is too, is that people, I mean, Switzerland didn't sleep last night, okay? They were all happy. They're happy for their team. It brings people together as a country, and they do not want that. That is very bad when you come together, when you have this national pride, okay? And so there's a lot out there, and you know what? Mark these people who do not like this. Mark these people who want to tear down and destroy your country and separate it, right? So anyway, speaking of that, let's go on. And there were some pictures I wanted to show you folks. Sunday, we gave the message, really good message on Sunday. And I want to start here again. And I said, oh, I want to show some pictures. I wish I was doing this on Tuesdays with Elvis. Well, look at this. Here we go. We found a tree with the roots. Now look at those root systems. Now it says here, Psalm 37, verse 35, I have seen the wicked in great power and spreading himself like a green bay tree. Well, here you go. Here's something for you to look at, something for you to consider, and something for you to realize. And this is exactly how it is. They've got this here too, and you see this big tree, and they've got all this fluffy green stuff up top, you know, a fluffy green stuff up top. Look at that root system. Look at that root system, how it all goes. And they got all these roots and all these tangled things in. You can think about that as a demonic kingdom too. right? And when we want to do deliverance, because a lot of times what people want to do is they want to go up here and just pick away leaves at this tree. Now, picking the leaves away from this tree, if you took away every leaf, are you going to get rid of that tree? No, you're not. No, you're not. If you chop this big thick branch off right there, are you going to get rid of that tree? No, you're not. Okay. And the thing is, this is a lot of times there's some that even go a little bit further, and they cut the tree off right here. They just go, okay, we're going to cut it off, right? And they cut off the tree and everything, but all this is still there, right? Exactly. Karen Hope writes, look at all those tentacles, exactly, like mind control. If you want a picture of mind control, there it is, but a lot of those things are wrapped to the spinal cord and the heart. Little hint for praying against mind control there. So anyway, there we go. But yeah, it says the wicked. I've seen the wicked in great power and spreading himself like a green bay tree. And we talked about this on Sunday too, where they've had this. We talked about what happened in Italy, right? And we hear a lot of things about deep state or shadow government and everything. And you see, this is the thing here too. It's like, you think all the life is in this part of the tree up here. It's down here. You've got the whole shadow government running everything, right? The deep state. That's why they call it deep state, deep roots. And this is where everything comes up. And everything that comes through these roots in this trunk, that's what makes it green on top, folks. So that's what we wanted to show tonight. And I wanted to show some more stuff because there's a lot of deception that goes on, right? And so anyway, so what happens is let's go on more. We talked about, did I get the right one here? I hope so. No. Oh, it went away. That's the one that went away. We talked about the Propaganda Due, right? The P2, it's the thumbnail picture on the other one, right? Propaganda Due. And so anyway, so here he was, right? And look at it. Look at nice old man. He's smiling. He's waving. He probably contributes to all the youth soccer leagues there, in Italy, and all does these things. He probably contributes to hospitals and everything else like that. Nice old man. But then we read the headline there, and it says, Lizio Gelli, Masonic Grand Master linked to Mafia murder of God's banker. Roberto Calvi dies, age 96. Wow. Okay. Actually, that's not Roberto Calvi. That's really written poorly there, right? But it says they were accused of the murder of God's banker, Roberto Calvi. He dies, age 96. Okay. Now, and for most of his life, he had money, he had power, he had influence. He was one of the people that helped set up the shadow government. Okay, and remember we talked about Silvio Berlusconi, right? The guy they basically got elected to president of Italy, right? And so here he is, but he doesn't look so bad, does he? He's smiling, he's waving, looks like a little bit. Now I had a lot of pictures I could have shown about this tonight. But you see, this is the thing too, because this is what we get right now too with what's going on. We get these smiling people wearing pink sweaters, eating ice cream cones, and they look like your adorable grandpa, or I'm sorry, Bill Gates still looks like a geek with a pink sweater on, right? But they look like this, and a lot of times we don't really see how they go. Now let's start peeling back some of the layers here. And I hope this encourages you, because a lot of time what happens in Christianity, that's the thing. It's like, I'm sorry, and like we found out Sunday, people who pray and everything else like that are the only people in that world that can turn that over. They had Italy so wrapped up, right, that they delayed justice for 23, 25 years. They had the cops, they had the judges, they had the politicians, they had the banks, they had everything, just like what we're seeing what's going on in America and the rest of the world too. They've got this. There's these things. Their P2, right, Logia Propaganda Due, right? Okay, yeah, it was so bad that Freemasonry kicked them out. How bad do you have to be so that Freemasonry kicks you out and says you can't be there anymore? So let's go forward a little bit here too. See this smiling guy? It's really great. There he is. That's all he's doing. Big smile, nice suit, car, got all the stuff. He's really good. He died anyway. He died at 96, and he died in his villa. But the last so many years of his life, 10 years or so or more. They really came after them, okay? They really came after him. The Italian tax system took away his villa and basically just let him stay in it until he died. So he deserved far worse. Why? let's peel some of the layers back on some of this that I want to show you guys tonight. And we're going to look at this, okay? Now, number one, so here we go. Oh, there's that nice, sweet grandpa there again. That's him. Notice he has all of his Freemasonry garb on. Here's the symbol right here. You got, oh, you can see it better on the picture. Does anybody out there know what that ladle and what that pot means? There's nothing in that picture that doesn't mean nothing. Okay, you see he's got his apron, he's got his thing. Why does he have the ladle in his right hand, which means power? And does ladle mean to feed, which means I have the power to feed you, right? I have the power to make you wealthy. I have the power to make you what? And I'm the master of the pot. What does that? Does anybody know any of that symbology? I looked around for the ladle and the kettle. And I know that the thing is that there are many of these different groups, and no, they're not all allied with each other. There are so many different lodges and Freemason groups and everything, and they all have their picture symbols, whatever. I went looking, and I tell you what, I go looking at some of this stuff, and I see it, and it just kind of makes me sick inside. So anyway, there we go. Now, okay, so here he is. Now notice this here too. And by the way, he has his Freemason, he has his apron on and everything else like that. But the thing is that the P2 Lodge, right, the Propaganda Due, I love that word propaganda too, right? They were made illegal, but they kept going forward. They didn't care if the government kicked them out or made them illegal or whatnot. Illegal is what they were. But now look at this here. It's like, okay, we see this guy has a little power here. This little smiling grandpa. Let's go on a little bit. But let's go back to his origins and his roots. What did he start off as? Well, there you go. There's his card. Notice it says Il Fascista, Lizio Gelli, yeah? And Inspettore Nazionale, organization of the fascists. And that was his card. He was a card-carrying fascist. And I wanted to show you this. And the thing is not only was he a card-carrying fascist from a very young age, you can see that there, young, handsome Italian man. And he joined what were called the Black Shirts, and he went and fought in the Spanish Civil War with the Nazis against the other people. Okay, so anyway, and he also made the famous quote and the famous claim. He says, well, I am a fascist and I will die a fascist, and he did a fascist. Now, this was the old school, what I call old school real fascism. This is not the fascism that the Antifa, anti-fascists or whatever are whining about right now. They're just beating that drum because there are two groups that have fought since the beginning of the time, and it's the communists and the fascists and everything else. And you know what the funny thing is? Okay. You've got the communists and the fascists, but they both belong to the globalists, and the globalists play them off against each other. Imagine that. So anyway, there he is. He's a card-carrying fascist. I want to show you another lifelong fascist. I want to show you another guy that sold out his own people. And you know what's really funny is, like, look at this. Start noticing on how all these people kind of look the same, okay? It's like they were cloned, right? And so here we go. And I'm going to show you another lifelong fascist. A man who sold out his own people when he was a teenager. See, look at that young guy. Well, this young guy here, look at that, okay? This young guy here by the name of George Soros, this picture was 2018. What happened when he was a teenager and everything, he helped the Nazis round up and find the Jews, and he went and pointed out to where the other Jews were. And his quote, you can hear this on the internet, that was the happiest time of his life. The happiest time of his life, running around, and betraying your own people, okay? Because he is or was born Jew, or his family was I'll say this, he was Jewish. He was born that, but boy, first chance he got, he betrayed the other Jews there too. So anyway, long story into that. So anyway, there you go. So anyway, but let's keep looking at this here too. Let's go on. I got to find my next one here, folks, for us tonight. And here you go. Look at this guy. Whoops. Anybody know who that guy is? Right? He's another one of those guys that looks like those guys. Somehow his white face. Let me see if Nah, that didn't really help much. Okay, so anyway, but Who's that? That's Emperor Palpatine. That friendly old man, that friendly old man of the old republic, and he was frail and he was weak, and he just wanted to go together, and he just, yeah, there you go. There you go, Tyler Millar. Okay, the knitting kitten, the knitting mechanic, right? Emperor Palpatine, and there he was. So there he goes. And you notice all these guys, and they just look so, they look alike. Look at this. You get these guys, there's a lot, not him, but you get a lot of the character traits that go together, right? And here you go, and here's Emperor Palpatine going in there, and here he is, he's just a little old man that just wants the best. I just want the best for the Republican. And when they use the word republic, it's a lie. Okay, there you go. It's a lie. There you go. And so there you go. But here we go now. So and let me go. What's this next picture I have? So here we go. There you have Emperor Palpatine. He's looking good. And here you go. Now this is what I wanted to point out. Notice the clothes he has on here, right? Emperor Palpatine, whatever, and he's actually part of the Sith and everything. And here's Klaus Schwab, and it's like oh God, what's Snopes or one of those. Klaus Schwab is not a member of the Church of Satan. Can you read that there? Do you see his thing? What he is, right? Okay, he's standing there, right? Got his thing. Look at his little outfit that he has on. These are people that wear suits. These people wear suits. These people wear ties, right? Oh. There he is, Emperor Palpatine. And look here's a nice old man. He's in a real cool, like Star Trek or Star Wars suit, just like Emperor Palpatine there. I don't know what these symbols are down here. I don't know what group that is. It's a little bit, the picture's not big enough to read. Okay. But the thing here is, like, I like how they have to come out here and go, oh, no. Klaus Schwab is not a member of the Church of Satan. Really, because all these things here too, it's not just political power. These people are whacked out into all sorts of power. Okay, and if you're in Freemasonry, it's the witchcraft, it's the occult, and all that. But the thing is look, you got this nice old blonde guy here, bald old guy here with his little suit on, right? And you got this little guy right here that looks the same, and oh boy, isn't that really cool? The thing is that this guy became this guy. That's who he was, really. I mean, really needing some dental work here. I mean, he's got to get a part of the Sith dental plan or something like that. But yeah, this little sweetheart here that was so weak and frail, and oh, if you want to do it, and let's go again, and whatever. As soon as he got his chance for power, he became this, and this guy became this. Okay, he became that. There you go. Mace Windu flew out the window. So anyway, here we go. Now watch as we go on. Now I'm saying this for a purpose, because we're sold this, right? And this is we're sold this, and we get this. And that's what's going on in the back with all the Freemasonry, the witchcraft. Go look at the pictures, people. Just type it in now. So let's go on. So you have all these people here. Let me see what's going on. What do I got here too? Yes, here he is, looking good. Got that suit tie on. Somebody, they must have waxed his head or something like that. And here he is at the World Economic Forum. Please read this quote. This quote is from him. This ties into so many messages that I've done in the past, people. It says, the pandemic represents a rare but narrow window of opportunity to reflect, reimagine, and to reset our world. Haven't we been talking about that, people? Right? Yeah, I know. I miss Pelosi. I missed her, right? Oh, I got Nancy Pelosi. Here she is. Ready? Are you ready, guys? Here you go. Here's Nancy Pelosi. There you go. So anyway, but look at this here too. Notice it's the Great Reset. By the way, I did a program on that. They blew it away. You can go to rumble.com/ENN. Scroll down a little bit and you'll see my program I did on the Great Reset, using their material and just interpreting their interpreting their stuff and everything else like that. And they blew me away on YouTube, but we published on rumble.com/ENN. And so here it is, the Great Reset thing here too. But I want you to look at the word reimagine. And remember we talked about imagining? Well, that is the video that got zapped away, right? And I said, whenever they use the reimagine, it means take away. Mm-hmm. An opportunity to reflect. That means nothing. Means nothing to us. They want us maybe to reflect or something like that, right? But reimagining is taking away, and I like that. And reset our world, which means create in their own image, because they're gods, right? Mm-hmm. So now, what were they going to, and it says the pandemic represents a rare but narrow window of opportunity. And here we are. Let's go forward. Let's see where we're at today. Okay. News out of Germany here. It says erstmals mehr Impfstoff als Impfwilliger. That's really interesting. What you see here are one of these big, huge immunization centers they do. And we count what? 1, 2, 2, 3 people there, and the rest are all security guards and doctors and everybody waiting. This has been the story from the beginning, people. Okay, and to translate this into English, it says for the first time, we have more shots than people willing to get the shots, because I will not call them an immunization. I will not call them a vaccine. They are a shot, right? They are a shot. All you get is a shot. And it says for the first time, we have more shots as people willing to get the shots. And actually, that's been more. Okay. And Spahn, we'll show you that guy later. We'll show you that little creepazoid later, right? He's here in Germany. But it's really, let me see if they show another picture. Smiling, yeah, okay, and that's a lie, everything else. But what I want to show here with this, I want to show something, okay? Right, now, let's go to the Corona radar. This is really good. This is all there is. Now, shocking people. There were 404 out of 85 million people. There were 404 new infections in the entire country, and 57 out of the 85 million people died. Sounds like a crisis, right? 404 new infections, and actually that's 404 positive tests. And I think you people know what positive tests mean now, right? Okay. And they can turn that up and down. But what that means, it says all across Germany now, for every, and it's a 7-day average, right? There are 5.4 people out of every 100,000 people. 5.4 of them have the coronavirus. Right. 5.4 out of every 100,000. That means let me do the math here. That means in a city of 1 million people, that's 50 of them. 50 people out of 1 million have it. The others don't. If we look up here, where is it at? 1.8. Now, first they told us if we got our infection rate down to 50, we could return back to normal and life would be great. And we got to 50. Then they moved it down to 35. We got down past 35. They moved it to 10. We got down past 10. Let's look. Even Hamburg, Germany here, 8.4, which means 8 people out of 100,000. Okay, so 80. So that means in Hamburg, there's probably 160 people that tested positive. Okay. What down here? 5.5. Here's the capital of Germany, 5.9. Gushmal. Wow, incredibly. Is it here? Right. In Munich, 10.6. 10 people out of 100,000. Okay. And you notice this map. Now, notice up here. They don't have the danger colors anymore because the entire country. They just have green for that. They used to have like red and everything. So look at Germany here. And the thing is, they don't want to let us go. They don't want. There are some parts that have loosened up, and it's really funny. We live close to the border here. So I was up in Hamburg today. And I go in, and they have different rules than they would have, let's say, over here in Stade, right? Different rules over here. Where was it? Zero. There's nothing there. There's nothing. There are no cases all along the coast. It must be all that fresh air and sunshine. There's nothing. But I want to show you something else that they've done. Because remember, people, they wanted to stretch this out for 3 years, and we are only at a year and a half. 1.5 years, right? So notice what they did here. If you've been watching for a while, you can go back in the archives. What you'll notice here, they've changed the charts. Okay, let me see. Okay, now let's go. They changed the charts. Now look at, so here's January 21st. January 21st, everything too, right? Okay, here's April, and now for this time here too, it is dropped all the way down, okay? Look how that has dropped down here to minuscule, right? Minuscule, nothing, okay? And those are positive tests out of 100,000 people. That's 5.4. So now let's look at this here too. So they want to do this by age group now. And they say total, you get total is the black line, which is everybody, right? 60 to 79, it's the light blue line, okay? Okay. And 80 and older, hold on, 80 and older, it's the dark blue line. So this is your big risk groups here too. And so they're talking about, and now they want to bring out the Delta virus to introduce the fourth wave. I don't know if I've said that yet, right? But notice all this has crashed down, and this is bad for the pharmaceutical companies, right? Okay. And so anyway, all the pharmaceutical companies are like, oh my God, here we go again. Because remember last time they had this and they produced all these vaccines. I mean, they produced vaccines last time, but it took too long. And the last SARS outbreak, it went away and they got stuck with all that vaccine. And I remember they had to buy hundreds of millions or billions of euros worth of vaccines back. And they said, that's never going to happen again. Okay. It's a big sham, people. Okay. They did release something out there. There is something out there that have been making people sick that goes out there. It's not as deadly as they say. It's, it's not as whatever they say. But so here we go. But now notice how this has crashed down. But we still have to have lockdowns. I'm going to explain this more because they came out with new announcements here, and they've declared certain countries Risikogebiets, danger areas, right? So here we go. Neuansteckungen, here we go. People with a positive test or something like that. Here we are. This is current right here. Watch this, people. Now, this is their numbers. And what do we know about their numbers, people? They're always big. And look at 404 people, right, got it somehow. Out of 85 million people. Right. And notice here, it's down 11%. It says right here, too. It's been crashed. Notice how this has crashed. This has crashed, but we have to have new lockdowns because, we're down here. Everything's down here. They want to tell us now that the new risk group are the 18 to 34-year-olds. Really? Really? Okay. And by the way, look at this. New infections. Now, people, this is what people don't do is they do not do the math. Okay. They do not do the math. And what they're saying is like, oh, the Delta variant, oh no. And then they blow up the number really big. Half the people getting the coronavirus that they have it through the Delta variant. Okay, so let's say everything you're saying is true. We know it's not, but let's just pretend that it is true, right? That means 200 people out of this total, 202 people out of this total here got the Delta variant somehow. And we need to shut down countries. I'm going to show you some more here really quick. We need to shut down countries from that. Right? We need to have a fourth wave. I'll show you that one too. They're calling it the fourth wave. 202 people a fourth wave does not make. Okay. And so here we go here too. Look at this. New deaths. And now if you go out and get hit by a bus and magically they find a coronavirus in you, allowing them to collect what, $50,000? Is that what it is? Is that the going price now? Okay. It's this. 57 people died, whatever else like that. More people die from other things, from smoking, cancer, diabetes every day. But we got 57 new deaths today, right? 7-day average, 52. The 7-day average is a lie, number two. You know why? Because the 7-day average this would look a lot lower if they would just take it what it is, but they give you the 7-day average to keep it higher. The 7-day average keeps things higher. Notice that deaths went down. I mean, usually a country would be celebrating when the death rate in their country went down 26% in 1 week. But oh no. 57 people died in a country of 85 million people. Now, no, we're not saying it's, okay, forget it. I'm not going to qualify things or whatever. Every person is sacred. No, that's what, you know what? We don't even know what these people died from. Okay. Old age, whatever else like that. Right. But like I said, if you walked outside, got hit by a bus, and they somehow they either found a coronavirus in you or planted one in you, right? Then they get their money and they get to count you as one. Okay, 57 deaths. More people are dying from bee stings. More people are dying from the heat wave now than the coronavirus. Okay, 57 does not make a fourth wave. Okay, so let's see it. Here we go. The best things, right? Okay, Bremen 6.8, Hamburg 8.4, Niedersachsen, Lower Saxony, where I'm at, is at 3. That means, on an average, out of every 100,000 people, 3 of those 100,000 have the coronavirus thing. And you know what, people? And you know what? Yeah, watch out for those 3 people. Let me tell you something, folks. You're not even going to know those 3 people, but if you got your vitamin D up, your zinc up, everything else like that, you could eat lunch right across from those 3 people and you'll be okay. Okay, this is a lie. They show this chart so everybody will run out and get their shot just because everybody else is. Marlene Ann Millar is the only person in America that hasn't received the vaccine yet. So, and then they tell you all that, but at the same time, when they're lying about the numbers, they show all this. And all you see here are not also other blown up numbers. And you know what? It's half or less than half of Germany. And they wanted much more. Yes, the pharmaceutical companies wanted much more, and it's affecting their stock price. Okay, so there we were. Now let's go to these real hot spots. I'm going to put out a travel advisory. Don't go on summer vacation to these places, okay, people? Because here are the 10 countries with the highest incident rate per 100,000 people. The Seychelles Islands, Mongolia, okay? Karen Hope, cancel that trip to Mongolia. There will be no small pony riding there, okay? Namibia, Colombia, Uruguay, Argentina, right? Okay, look, I mean, look at all the South American countries, everything else like this, right? Kuwait, you might want to skip that country, okay, people, right? Oman, the Maldives, that's those small islands that the ocean is going to cover anyway in a week or two, right? Didn't they say that? The Maldives Islands, global warming that was going to melt the ice caps, and they're the first to go away, and Brazil down there too. So if you're planning vacation on there, you look out. Okay, it's waiting for you. But now let's go on here too. This is what I wanted to say. I wanted to show you how much of a knot it was. Okay, a nix factor, a nothing factor, a nothing burger, right? I mean, look at this. We should be celebrating. We should be celebrating that we're at 5.4. I mean, you know what? There are other sicknesses that are a lot higher than that, folks. There are a lot of other sicknesses, right? So anyway, here we go. Now let's look at this here too. Let's look at this here. Let's go on now. So what they have to do, and you've heard this from Fauci, we're hearing this all the time. You hear it until you get sick of it here in Germany on everywhere, right? Okay, what do we have? I hope I picked this one out here too. Here you go. Here's the name out of DW right here. Can you see that there? It says, the Delta variant brings new pandemic threat to Germany. The good summer weather and strong vaccination numbers can obscure the dangers that the coronavirus still poses. Public health officials in Germany want to avoid a repeat of the false sense of security in summer 2020. No, the thing is that everybody was killing it because everybody was, wearing masks, they were taking care, doing everything else like that, okay? And so there we go. But yeah, and so this is what they really want to push here to. Here we got alpha, beta, gamma, delta, right? We got all these different variants and everything. Okay, let me tell you what a virus does. It mutates. Okay, and how many times have I said, I will keep saying this, I will keep saying this, I will keep saying this. When a virus mutates, it becomes weaker. Well, how do you know that, Elvis? Because the virus, how about like the Black Plague or I don't think the Black Plague was a virus, that was bacterial. But what all those viruses from thousands of years ago would have then mutated and came and killed us all. Okay, I mean, think of our parents, our grandparents, our great grandparents. Go back 10 generations. What did they have for healthcare, and what did they have for vaccines, and what did they have? Nothing. Okay, and so when a virus mutates, that's what happened to the last SARS virus, people. It mutated to where it didn't. Are those viruses still around? They are, but their mutations are so weak. Hey, we may get them and get rid of them and not even know that we had them. Okay, right? But you better wipe down all your surfaces because there could be a virus there. Oh, people, there are viruses and bacteria there you do not know. Look down at your skin. Your skin is crawling with whatever. Okay, I was going to try to do that, but there you go. But that's the point, people. Okay, yeah. Now look at this here too. They write the vaccines and the variants are in a fight to the finish. Even as vaccination rates pick up in many countries, health experts worry not enough shots are getting into enough arms fast enough to stop variants from spreading and new ones evolving. People, what you just read there was a bunch of baloney. Okay, right? A lot of it's a lot of toilet paper. It's wrapped around a roll in your bathroom, people, right? Okay, it's like, oh, they're not good. It's a race to the whatever. Baloney, baloney, baloney. The only thing that's racing are the pharmaceutical companies to get those shots into those arms, including 6-month-old babies. Okay? Again, the title of tonight is Don't Let Them Deceive You. Okay? So there we go. Now let's go forward on this, but oh, the delta. Now I hope I got that one. If not, I'll tell you here too. Let's look at this, right? I don't think I did, but there you go. No, that's the other guy. Oh my God. Okay, so now here's what they came out with in America. Now they came out with Delta. The thing is that you see they have marketing people, they have sales people, and they realized they were saying Delta so much. Okay, and they were figuring out that the word Delta wasn't scaring people enough, so they needed a new scary word. Now, if you have any small children in the room, get them out of the room because I do not want to traumatize them with the new word they came out for the Delta virus to make it super scary. Okay, are all the little kiddies? They have their fingers in their ears? Okay, ready? Delta plus. Yeah, doesn't that just put really fear into Delta plus? We had Delta, but now Delta plus. Oh, did you hear about that person in our church? They caught the Delta plus, not just Delta, Delta plus. Now, here's one thing too about this Delta that is, this is what's scaring the vaccine companies, and this is what's scaring all these plans and everything. This big rush to vaccinate everybody, right? And all the freedoms you were going to have once you got vaccinated. You could have freedom to travel, which we proved was false. And you're going to be free to go everywhere. You know what? When I went to the mall today, I went in the mall today, and you know what? The vaccinated people had to do the exact same thing as I did. Okay, if you're vaccinated and got that shot that changed your DNA, you can eat in the food court. But I tell you what, sign me up for the shot. Maybe if for the new vaccines, maybe if they said you get a bag of Oreos and a gallon of milk, I'm there. Shoot me up. I want them all. I want Alpha, Beta, Delta. Give it to me. I want that bag of Oreos, right? Is that what it is? Okay. And so what happens is, right? And so what happens is that, yeah, so this whole Delta stuff. Oh, by the way, all those that have run out there to get vaccinated, everything else, I didn't put this article up, okay? You realize that half the people that are getting the Delta cases are the people that are already vaccinated. In some countries, it's as high as 62%, okay? As high as 62% of the people that have had both shots, people. Yeah, let's just say it true. Let's just do it. I love beating the I love beating the devil with his own stick. Okay, I love beating. Okay, let's say I'm sorry. Wow. And there's this Delta, and then there's Delta plus. Okay, keep the kids out of the room, cover their eyes and cover their ears so the Delta plus demons don't get in. Okay, right? And so what happens is even the people that were double vaccinated are getting, they're showing up positive for the coronavirus. Now, if that gets around too fast with Delta and everything, they're telling people too, you know what? The people with both vaccines have to go back to wearing masks, and that's right here in Germany, folks. That's the new thing. Now, we have people that are deciding our health, right? We have people that are deciding our health, right? Whoops, sorry. I didn't mean that picture. Right? They're deciding our health. Where do we go? And here's one of them here in Germany. You got to look at these people here too. Now, I want to show to all the Germans again, it is an election year. And remember how I said a long time ago, it's always the same three letters they have behind their name. And here he is. This guy's name is Lauterbach. Okay. I'm sorry. His face looks like it should be on a poster in a post office. And everybody in America knows what that means, right? Okay. His face should be on the back of milk cartons so kids can learn to avoid people like him. And there's worse like this, right? And so here it is. And so here's Lauterbach. And what is he saying here? Okay. He's promoting a complete travel ban, for people out of the United Kingdom into the EU. Right. We better just ban Britain from the EU. Well, sorry, they already did, from traveling. Don't let the British people travel in the EU because there's a Delta variant out there. We got over here too, right? Oh, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on there, right? And he says here too on the bottom, it's in German. It says, to slow down the spreading of the Delta variant in the EU, right? Don't speed up the spread of that, right? The Socialist Party of Germany politician, you got that? He's a politician. Yuck. Two things you don't want to put together is politics and a health department, right? Right. And he says, you know what the Socialist Party of Germany, a politician, he says, we need to really cut down on their interest into the European Union, not just Germany, right? And look at this. He says, at least we need to put a quarantine flicked. Help me, flicked. Yeah, a quarantine requirement, right? And that's the thing too. Now I want to tell you about this here too with this Delta thing, and this is how they're getting everybody. Okay, they wanted to get everybody. Now everybody's went off to vacation in Portugal or Spain or other places like that, and Germany just declared these people, I believe it was Portugal and Russia, to be what, hotspots again. And so wherever you were, but all these Germans now, they're all out on vacation right now. And what do is they declare these places as hotspots, which means all those people, wait for it. Here it comes. Even if you're immunized, you need to go into 2 weeks of quarantine. Can we hear that again? Even if you're immunized, you need to go into 2 weeks of quarantine if you go to these places. What happens is, as these people, and I find it interesting, do they pick out the places where people like to go on vacation and then all of a sudden just declare them that? Right, because of Delta and Delta Plus. Obligation, thank you very much. Thank you, Biker Girl. Obligation. The quarantine, you are obligated to go into quarantine. Get that into your medulla oblongata. You are obligated, right? You're obligated in your medulla oblongata, right? And so anyway, so here we go. But yeah, okay, I just want to show this here too. And I tell you what, these people always look the same, they smell the same, they're everything, and they all have the same letters behind their name, SPD. Yick. Okay, and I wouldn't just say that to say that. I can't get this, people. I'm a permanent resident here, but I can't vote. You have to have a passport for that. America should look at that. Let's go on here. Okay, we've looked at this guy enough, but I want to show you what's going on. Not only do we that, but if you look at this, okay, remember this guy here, and remember he had a student by the name. This was the master, and then he had a student by the name of Darth Vader. Look, remember he started hey, look, the sweet little old man, and then he turns into this, and this guy here, this was the mentor, this was the trainer of Darth Vader. Okay, well, it's fun, and they would always run around in twos. Well, let me show you this one here too. Really interesting. Wow, look at this here too. Here's Karl Lauterbach. This is back in 2019, and look at these here too. And it says, Spahn verliert mit Lauterbach einen wichtigen Partner. Yes, it's time to separate this. It's time to separate the Sith, young Vader, right? And this was 2019, and it was so sad because they were such good partners, and I just blew something up. We're on, okay, that's moon travel now. Let me go back one. I can't, people. I missed the picture. But there you go. Spawn is Spawn is another one there. That's what happens when you, yeah, it does it. The dark side of the force, touch my button. There we go. So let's go forward now. I want to look at this here too. Ah, look at this guy. Anybody recognize him? Here you go. One of these things looks just like the other. That's the Sesame Street song. That's the trigger, Sesame Street. One of these things looks just like the other. They look the same, smell the same. There you go. All these health people. Yeah, hug a tree. There you go, hug a tree. Yeah, we're going to pass on that one, okay? Let's go forward. But here we have the Delta one, right? Right? And this one here says the United States is falling short of its goal of vaccinating 70% of adults by July 4th. Yeah, sorry, Joe. Didn't happen, did it? Did it, right? 70% of adults by July 4th. Not going to happen. They missed it by really big, really big. I don't know. What is the number in America right now? Is it 40? Is it 40 people? There you go. There you go. That's right. Swiss Miss writes, Palpatine was also in politics and tried to look good in front of all the people and tried to play the savior. He did. He just wanted to help you. Just give me new powers. Okay. Anyway, oh, funny, because that's what these people say too. And all these politicians and all these health people like this that were given new powers, and they're finding out that Fauci was the one who set up the lab and he was behind the whole thing. Okay. But let's go further here. What do I have here? I had so much. Ah, yes, in case you were wondering. Do you remember this guy? Remember this guy? Remember who the guy was? Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Here, remember this guy? Klaus Schwab is not a member of the Church of Satan. You can believe him because that's what Armstrong Economics says. Okay? This photo seems to be running around with claims that Schwab is a member of the Church of Satan. Sorry, but this may be a strange robe. Yeah. Just a strange robe. Yeah. Who wears robes? Ah, like that, right. The savior politician. Thank you, Swiss Miss. That was very timely. The savior politician. Yep, the savior politician. Look who's in there. And people, they've known each other for 20 years. The World Economic Foundation founder, Klaus Schwab, and Joe Biden. Yep. This was when he was 2016, before they got defeated by Donald Trump, right? Davos, before the election. So don't worry, Joe. We bring you back 2020. It's okay. We have big reset, big one. We use computer. It will be good, Joe. It's okay. You keep laughing, and I would tell you to play stupid, but you don't have to play, right? And yeah, do you remember this picture? Do you remember this time together? Don't worry, Joe Biden doesn't remember it either. Okay, but do you see how all these people are together? There you go. Anyway, his little training partner. There we go. Now, where am I at here? Where did I go with this? Ah, yeah. Let's have the fun part, people. We've seen everything else here tonight. We've seen all this stuff. Okay, and so there. But I like this here too. It says prayer to destroy your enemies. Our enemies are God's enemies. Our enemies are the enemies of humanity. Our enemies are those that serve Satan and have no, some of the cotton candy Christians like, well, why don't we pray for them and let's go witness them, whatever. Yeah, you know what? Licio had a way of making those people disappear. He made media people disappear. He made, reporters disappeared, politicians disappeared, bankers disappeared. Yeah, bankers disappeared. Oh, he did too. He makes people. You know what? They all got this thing. Yeah, this little smiling guy here, the smiling guy right here, right there. They killed Roberto Calvi. They murdered God's banker, and they got away with it for 23 years. And the thing is, how did they get away from it? Because the big network they did like that, they had it all covered. And a little branch down here would go, hey, I think something kind of smells kind of fishy. Something's not right. And it would go up and it would get shut off. Okay? It would get shut off. So there we go. So anyway, I want to include this here tonight. We won't pray through and read through all these, but you might want to take down, if somebody wants to type these in, feel free. Psalm 109, that is great. This is what you pray for: bad politicians, bad people like that, just the bad people. One of the verses in Psalm 109, which is really good to pray, which is really good too, it says, and let another person take his office. Right. We lose civil war and Satan's